The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of RMCOnAir.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, Just Sports with Sonny Wells, inside RMC. To my left, Smitty.
Hello, hello.
DeJuan Scott.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Daniel.
Mr. Pierre Daniels, our historian. We've got all the guys here. Here we go. Top of the show. Let's go with the Lakers. They lost again tonight.
Yeah.
Once again, and we were talking earlier.
Yes.
Coach is going to make some changes in the starting lineups.
Sunday.
Yeah, this Sunday. Who they play? The Hornets?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you think they're going to change?
Bob Boozer. I mean, is it Boozer? What's his first name?
Carlos?
Yes. And put Davis in there. And I would like to see him do something with Jeremy Lin myself.
DeJuan.
Yeah. Hey, man, I B's playing cards now.
Yeah.
So we just got to see where the jokers are going. And the queens and the kings, and, you know, we just got to give my man a chance to see what he can do.
Well, we know one thing. Kobe's not going anywhere, do you think?
Yeah. You know, hey, yeah. Pierre? Any thoughts?
Well, yeah, I might have a thought or two. Thanks. Yeah, if I'm the coach, number one, I would certainly, the first person I have coming off the bench would be Kobe Bryant. I mean, I look at how he played against the Washington Wizards, and I just knew he started out hot. I said, okay, it's a matter of time until he starts throwing up bricks, throwing the ball away, turning the ball over, just killing the team. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened down the stretch. I didn't even see the game tonight, but I'm pretty sure probably the same thing happened tonight. But I've watched every single game besides tonight of the season, and I'm just saying, man, I just don't see how Laker fans can continue to put up with that type of poor play. You know, and I encourage anyone to, argue with me or else if they can at least, let's say have a decent conversation about the merits of Kobe Bryant. I'll challenge
wait a minute. Didn't he have a
even
triple?
Smith on down.
Didn't he have a triple-double, 2 or 3 games ago? A couple of games ago?
Yep, they sure did.
And they won?
Yes, they did. But look at so many other games that he played, and look at his field goal percentage. Look at, they say that, okay, the players, if he passes the ball to his teammates, he don't have confidence in his teammates that they can make the shot. So might as well he take the shot. I mean, no matter who's taking the shots, the key is to hit the shot, not to take them. I mean, like I said, his leadership is horrible. His field goal percentage is for someone who's taking as many shots, it's just killing the team. I mean, now he's on tired legs, supposedly. Before the Washington game, he didn't even practice, He's saying it started to catch up with him already.
Well, I guess DeJuan doesn't know, but he's ready to fire Byron and Kobe. So
and
I'm referring to Pierre, though.
And Mitch, man. And Mitch,
You're trying to send him back to Minneapolis.
I so hope that by this time, Byron would have been able to straighten the team out. But I can't say that it's all Byron. Those guys on the team at DeJuan, you've been a pro, you've been there, you were with the Lakers. The mindset of these young players, I don't know where they're at. You give me an opportunity to play professional sports, and I get there, I'm going to hurt myself to get out there and show what I can do. I'm going to do 1 or 2 things great, not good, great. If you are a Robert Sacre, who is the sack of sorriness.
1 for 10 today.
1 for 10, our engineer says. What are you doing? You're 7 feet. You're damn near right next to the basket and you can't make it? I watched him square up with nobody around him at the 15-foot line, right there at the free throw line, and shoot the ball with decent form and didn't even touch the rim. He needed a magnet on the ball. That doesn't make any sense for a professional who's getting thousands or millions of dollars. I just don't get that, you know.
I mean, you really brought up something, man, because I'm old school, and back in our day, everybody could score. And I look at even when Dwight Howard was here, man, I always questioned his ability, man, to have a go-to move, man, and being a true center. You know, although he was a forward, you still had an obligation to learn how to play the center position, and you had a lot of true centers around you that could teach you just a drop step, man, or at least entry passes, how to position yourself and giving up your pivot before you. I mean, it's just all this fundamental stuff, man, and I think that the part of this generation's problem is there's just too many kickstands. I mean, when you become a pro ball player now, man, you've got managers and agents, and you've got all these people in your ear. You're so spoiled. There's enough distractions being in this city in and of itself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're making that money, and individuals just really, man, just don't have either the focus, the work ethic, and I just have to say a basketball brain, man, to just do what needs to be done.
Did Howard come out of high school?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he missed that very important phase of a college basketball training.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that's not an excuse.
Well, let me tell you this. I've been to Laker practices when Kareem was the assistant.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and I would watch all the position guys working with guards, forwards, and I would look at Bynum, and I would look at what was the big boy that came from D.C.
Oh yeah.
Was a bust.
Kwame Brown.
Yeah,
Kwame
and
Brown, right.
these guys are playing one-on-one.
Little hands.
Yeah, and I'm talking to Cap, and I'm saying, Cap, man, he says, well, I'm not gonna beg anybody to work with me. Yeah. They see me sitting over here. I'm the all-time leading scorer. If they want to learn how to play, then they should come over here and avail themselves. I'm not going to chase cats around. And at the end of the day, once again, it was just too many distractions, and these cats just weren't focused, and they wound up losing to Phoenix. That was a time when they had the advantage and they fooled around and lost home court advantage, and your boy Bynum had that accusation about rape at the time.
Okay.
So it's all this stuff going on with these cats that you know about, that you don't know about, and at the end of the day, man, your job is to play basketball, man. Get out there and play basketball.
Yeah, they do suffer from lack of focus. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to suggest, maybe, like my younger brother, he has a son who's in high school right now. He's playing high school ball for Palisades. Now, he was at the game earlier today, and Marcus Johnson was there as well.
Mark?
So, yeah. So I'm saying, why can't Byron hire someone like Marcus Johnson to put him on the staff, and maybe, I mean, you're looking at a legendary player from the Los Angeles area throughout, college and, of course, his pro career, this and that. I definitely think he could be someone who could definitely help the team out a great deal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the staff now, but I was using one name that I can think of off the top of my head, because my brother was just mentioning it to me earlier today that he was there at one of the high school games out there in El Segundo. Maybe putting someone like him on the staff, and maybe he could, help the players out to a certain degree. Because I'll tell you right now, if it continues to go like it is right now, I'll be surprised if Byron Scott's able to hold him to his job by the end of the season. Well, and again, if he was brought in talking about all the D'Antoni, deficiency the Lakers had on defense last year, I think this year's squad is even worse than it was last year. Am I right?
No, you're pretty close.
I'll share with you what I know. What I know is that, when B got that job,
right.
They waited forever and a day before they gave it to him.
Yeah.
And by the time they gave it to him, they already had assistants and cats coaching the summer league and the whole 9 yards. They already kind of knew. It was kind of like what was my man that was down in Golden State?
Mark Jackson,
you know, and assistants.
Steve
You know,
Kerr now
that
has
has been a problem now with head coaches not being able to choose who they want to choose, and you inheriting the cats that's sitting over right there ready to take your job, and they're grooming the next guys to do that. And so we can't put it all, the onus all on B as to being able to. And I also know that B had to meet with everybody in the Laker organization first to find out who it is, what they do. Those meetings, man, can take until January. People, until you get around to meet with everybody, find out who's there, why they're there, what backdoor side deal they got, and why they're there, and then you can go ahead and try to, you know, shuffle a deck and say, well, I need this for this and this. So he's got to pick and choose his fights, and he's got a lot of them. So it's not like he just is, you know, at liberty to come in and say, this is my crew and this is what we're going to do. He's still, you know, it's still.
I heard commentary saying the exact same thing that you're saying tonight after the game. They were one of the guests on the show was saying that Byron is getting a pass, and he said Mike Brown and Dan Antonio didn't have that opportunity. But then they went on to point out just what you stated, that he didn't get a chance to pick the players. He's just
come on, man. You know how many old Lakers dudes that was like, as soon as B got that job, we was like, B, me included. You know what I'm saying? We still on the griddle.
Right.
You know, and
well, let me ask you something, Jordan. Okay, what about, why won't they even entertain the thought of giving Kareem the job? I mean, the head coach, but you know when he was.
You know what? Let me
He's
tell you
not
something,
a
man.
people person.
Hold up now. Me and you gonna have a fight.
You know it.
No. But let me tell you something. I was Kareem's assistant coach in Oklahoma.
They won the championship too, right?
We took a last place team and we won the championship in the USBL. And I'll say this: they said that he wasn't a people person then, but the players would die for this guy, and it was about what the players would do, not what management or anybody else said that they would do. Cap, man, I'm telling you, dude, when this cat was in the huddle, you got the basketball encyclopedia. He was part John Wooden, he was part Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was part, you know, all the cats, you know, I'll even say Jack McKinney. And he was just even keel, and he let his assistants do the job. And so he would, you know, if it was a timeout, Cap would come to you and say, this is what they're going to do. Yeah. I need you to do this, and you need to do that, and that's your job.
Like a game of chess. Huh?
Oh, man, and he just tell you, just like, this is what you need to do. And when we broke, it was exactly the way he said it was going to go down. And if that guy didn't do it, we got somebody in here that will do it the next week. Yeah. So I can say, man, when it comes to, you know, and I get riled up about Cap, man, one of my frustrations for him too, man, is he was never even given an opportunity to really get a real serious look in an interview. He had to sit back and go through all these interviews about Phil is leaving, what do you think about this, what do you think about that? And it's like, man, dude, it's like, you know, I should get a shot. And he was never even considered. In fact, not only was he not considered, and I'm going to turn over to Mike, was that the team voted not to even give him playoff shares.
Right.
Oh, really?
That wasn't about the statue. It was about playoff shares. You know, and he didn't have that in writing because he's been there forever. He didn't need to have that. You know, so the players not respecting their elders and all that type of stuff, dude, that's a big issue.
Yeah.
Who knows more about the game than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? You look at his history, you look at his resume. Yeah. I'm saying to myself, I mean, he's right there in your backyard. I mean, willing and ready to do this, and they showing him like he's some type of Skid Row bum or something. I mean, when the UCLA job opened up, I'm talking about when Ben Howland, before Ben Howland got the job, even with all the way back with Steve Lavin, but after Steve Lavin, that's when Ben Howland got the job. Before he got the job, you know, UCLA actually had the audacity to tell Kareem they wouldn't even consider him for an interview.
Wouldn't want him to have that job.
Wouldn't even consider the man for an interview. Who's more important in the history of UCLA basketball besides the great John Wooden than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
It should be the logo.
You look at his resume. No one knows more. I mean,
that's a great.
The skyhook should be the logo for the NC2A. And I tell you, you know why he didn't get that look? You know why he didn't get that look?
I mean, I have my reasons. I mean,
I'll tell you why he didn't get the look, man. I'll tell you exactly why he didn't get the look. I'll tell you, I'm going to keep it real, dude. He didn't get that look because traditionally they want coaches to be married. They want that classic shot of the wife up in the stands and this and that, and the company man and the whole 9 yards. They don't want a different chick up in the stands, you know, that he's dating, you know, every game and he's single in the whole 9 yards. Yeah. You know, but when it comes
more to do, what about I'm going to bring this up and tell me if you really want to keep it real. Do you think it had anything to do with religion?
You know what? It's a misunderstanding with religion. It's a misunderstanding because people you know. And I talked to Cap about this, man. The problem with Cap is, or the problem that he had to face is people thought he was a black Muslim and he never was. You know, he was never a black Muslim. You know, when he used to look at Malcolm X and all them cats and Ali, and they used to go to battle because he wasn't with that crew.
He was a Shiite or a Sunni?
Well,
I don't know which
the thing is, now that you are helping me to recall some things, remember when
I do.
people were
we
killed?
just talked about that, and that was at his that was at a home that he owned in D.C., but he really didn't have nothing to do with it.
He had nothing to do with it.
That was the Hanafi Muslims, and those cats was beefing amongst themselves.
He had nothing to do with it, but yet they had to get him a bodyguard to protect him during that time period.
His name was on the he owned the home. That was it. He owned the home, and that was it.
Yeah, but like Smitty said, you're absolutely right, Smitty, because I vividly remember when Green, it was the second year with the Lakers. It was around 1976. No. He was with the second year with the Lakers around 1976, right around there. And the Lakers were very concerned about Kareem's interest and Kareem's well-being and safety when he went to play the Washington Bullets. Yeah. And they were like, well, you know what? He's back here. We'll have extra security around this and there. Yeah. I'm like, why would they say, I'm a young kid. I don't understand why they say all that. And that was because that situation that happened back then, it still carried over for a couple of years later. And every time he went back there, you know, playing against any of the teams, he was very concerned about his safety. I mean, with that situation, all the way back then.
And with that, gentlemen, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. RMC.
All right.
What's your style? Curly, straight, wavy, or maybe you like it natural? Introducing Secret Styling Hair Care Products by Smith Products Company, LLC. A complete line of hair moisturizers, shampoos, conditioners, and an assortment of other hair styling aids formulated for today's fashion-conscious consumer. Enhance your style. Get the secret.
Are you a diabetic? Need some energy? Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Need to quench your thirst? Try Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, the only energy drink named suitable for diabetics by the American Diabetic Association. And it's now available with no calories, no carbs, no sugar, and no fat, and a smooth, natural blend of energy, vitamins, and minerals. Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink is the healthiest, best-tasting energy drink around. For more information and online ordering with free shipping, please visit hiphopbev.com. Remember, Pitbull Sugar-Free Energy Drink, suitable for diabetics, great for everyone.
Okay, we're back. Just Sports with Sonny Wells. Now, what you say, Pierre? You play with who? Where?
B. Shaw. B. Shaw. He's coaching the Denver Nuggets now.
Okay.
Santa Barbara days. What? 87, 88.
State Street.
Did you start or was you off the bench? Hey, did you start? You was off the bench?
Off the bench.
What, 6, 7? Where you at?
I was kind of deep on the bench, but it wasn't due to my skills. Trust me, you know.
Yeah, because it was a numbers game.
You know, I would say, and on top of that, you know, certain coaches, you know, when they brought us in initially, they said we were going to be the running, gunning gauchos, very similar to the running rebels.
Right.
Of course, it's great Jerry Tarkanian years.
Right.
And then once we got there, it was pretty much slow it down, dump it down low, you know, to the big man, first, second, and third option.
Damn.
And, you know, you can shoot. I was definitely an outside shooter, so that kind of, you know, I thought we were going to be running, you know, like I said, running like a lot of the other PC2A schools at that time, which turned into the Big West. But Brian Shaw, he was 6'6" point guard, you know, definitely. I mean, he definitely had a nice career. He transferred in from St. Mary's.
Okay.
Was Jim Rome there then?
Yeah, Jim Rome was there. But you know, I didn't know Jim Rome. We were there at the same time, absolutely. But I didn't know him at the campus.
As a player?
Yeah. No. He had to be like
announcer.
We had this paper called like the Daily Nexus. The Daily Nexus up there. That was the school newspaper. Campus newspaper. Yeah, Jim Rome was there at the same time, but I don't remember actually.
You didn't see him in Isla Vista? You ain't running around over there?
I would. But we were definitely there at the same time.
So, gentlemen, let's bring this all back into perspective with regard to the type of mentality that we have on the Lakers squad currently. And you guys have given a number of issues on what has happened, who's been there, what their thoughts are about the way that they're conducting themselves on the floor. And I think that's paramount. DeJuan, you wanted to say something about Cap that I think would bring all of this together.
Well, I just wanted to finish up the point, man, about how Cap never got a look, to be seriously considered as to be a Laker head coach. And part of the reason is that he bumped heads with the logo.
Jerry West?
Yeah, you can't go against the logo. And Cap, this is what he revealed in his interviews when we were in Oklahoma, why he was ready to go ahead and do the USBL as a stepping stone, because he felt that when he was playing, he saw the intrusiveness of the media. You should just ask me about what my diet is, what my training regimen is. Don't ask me who I'm sleeping with, what I'm smoking, about my personal life. And so, and he was confrontational with a lot of the media. Yeah. And whereas Jerry West was saying this is a business and you got to be amenable and accessible and, and promote this game, and he never felt that he had to do that. And so he just, never worked with management to promote the team. And it wasn't until after he retired and he sat back and he looked at it as a business and he reconciled that he was wrong. Yeah. And that, he should have been more proactive. And so it's the media that has not really had a relationship to promote him in any fashion, because he never worked with them. And then he went out of his way, man, sometimes, man, to make him embarrass him, make him look bad, and, Cap could.
So let's take a look at...
I have a couple quick questions for you, if you don't mind. So let me answer one right quick. Number one, Phil Jackson was definitely butt heads with logo. And he got the job. I mean, I know he's sleeping with Jeannie Buss. I'm sure that helps out as well.
That's something Kareem can never do.
But number two, back when Jerry West actually coached the Lakers for a couple of years, and during that time, they actually went to the Western Conference Finals one year against the Portland Trailblazers and lost 4 straight. But during that time, they had a lot of injuries. That's one of the reasons why I think the Lakers actually had a better team. But that's another story in itself, another time. But anyway, Jerry West actually had mentioned on a couple of occasions that Kareem wasn't playing hard enough. Even though Kareem was the MVP of the league, he still said he wasn't playing hard enough. He expected a lot more out of Kareem. And even though Kareem was the best player in the league, they were actually butting heads at that time. And then from there, later on, it just continued. But I couldn't believe that Jerry West would even make those type of comments, because he said he wasn't rebounding enough for the team.
Yeah.
In terms of his leadership.
Kareem is a cerebral guy. Mm-hmm. Which means that he's going to clash with folks if you get on that intellectual level, and that's what he did a lot. He stood his ground, and he probably paid the price for it too.
I think Kareem was probably one of the best fit gentlemen in the game at that time. I think he was taking up yoga and some karate and all that other stuff. Yeah. Similar to Kobe. Kobe now, he's the leader in terms of fitness, work ethic.
Yeah.
Dedication.
And that's going to help the team. And I'm hoping it spills onto the rest of those guys for them to say, okay, look at this 35-year-old guy out here, and he's out on the floor, and he's giving his all, and he looks good for an old man.
Yeah.
We got to hope that happens for the team. Lastly, to bring, once again, everything into perspective, we're talking about these athletes that, even in football, that just don't take the pro ranks the way we did back in the old school, like you do. I have to keep going to you, DeJuan, because you're the only pro in here. And what my thing is this: I've dropped down from the pro-am level in basketball down to high school, trying to get these guys to see that they can get this basketball to pay for their education. First of all, pros maybe. But first of all, you can work and you can get this basketball to pay for education. We got the 2 big guys, 6'10", 6'11", Chimezie Metu. He's finally seeing the light he carried us on those last 2 games, and that's why we won. 'Cause he just went off. Then we got we call him Buddha. I can't remember his real name. He's just Buddha. But he's very talented as well. But then we've got a host of other guys around him. Their work ethic is great. Our head coach is great. He just doesn't understand the game that well. But these group of guys, I think, are the next generation that's coming up. They're going to be fundamentally sound, right hand, left hand, know how to play D, know how to play someone who has a weak hand, how to make them go to the other side. And I don't see a lot of it in high school basketball. Like the guy over at Inglewood, the guy with the Mexican name, I'll say, Gomez. We made him go left. Timeout. So, I can't see why Pat Roy hasn't tried to been able to get him to, work and get even-handed. But, my thing is try to help these kids so we don't see the type of sports that we're seeing now.
Right.
And we have to come in here as men and dialogue, not about the competition, about where their heads are at and why they're not playing like that. That's frustrating.
Well, you know what, Sonny, man, and I'm looking forward to the year-end show because we've had a lot of great shows here, man. We've had some great topics, by
the way, why don't you talk about, we got a few minutes. I meant to get in earlier.
Okay.
Talk about the Big Feats show hosted by you.
I'm gonna segue that in, and but I'm gonna just jump on, where just referee where you were going. We had a show here, and I'll never forget it. It was the one with the homeless kids on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
And we talked about how, between the freeways, it's about 55% of those kids that stay in foster homes.
Right.
It's a different world that they face. Some of these kids, they're living in, they're taking their showers in car washes. Their meals are coming out of candy machines. It used to be we had at least a mom to raise us or a grandparent. Now they're being passed around, and the promiscuity starts earlier, and so there's other challenges. And so I see in middle school kids, I used to coach there, man. They come to school and they may not have eaten. And it's just, Mrs. Scott, I can't focus. So it's more challenges for coaches than ever before. Coaches have always been father figures, but now more than ever, it has just been a broader scope of challenges and really trying to help these kids be more focused and appreciate, how they can use this game, to their advantages.
That's some good points there. Very good points.
Let's hear about your show that you're going to do right here.
Well, it's going to be our show. It belongs to the world. I had a show here, last year, and I want to bring it back. And basically, it's about the environment. And I think that there's more than enough room for African Americans to be more involved in the environment, and there's more than enough room for athletes to become more involved in the environment. And so one of the things that I came up with was a concept whereby I'm going to call upon the guys that I know to help save the endangered mascots. We got to start somewhere. And so I'm going to go to Shaq and say, man, there's 1,500 tigers left in the wild. There's 5 subspecies of those tigers if you break them on down. So it's really not that many. You can't let the LSU tiger die on your watch. Barkley, you can't let the Auburn tiger die on your watch. You know what I mean? So when it comes to bees and hornets and sharks, and if we can just get ball players involved, if we can get individuals from the school level, save your school mascot, you can start very early. You know what I mean? I had Tone Loc on the show here when one of the last shows I did, and I asked Tone to be the voice of the California Bear. And he was like, oh, dude, that's great, man. But, even he was shocked to discover our golden bear, our mascot for California, we shot them all to death back in 1922. Our mascot is extinct.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Manny Pacquiao, and he'll tell me the Philippine eagle is critically extinct. So what I've done is because I'm Hollywood's Bigfoot actor. I've created a new Bigfoot character that has the ability to speak on behalf of all endangered species, and I'm going to avail that power to mankind. And so I'm challenging everybody basically to research an endangered species and to learn something about them and then give them a voice.
Yeah.
And that voice is your talent.
Real quick, we could be able to do a celebrity basketball game or a game for that, possibly down at Trade Tech, involve all the other boys and girls clubs in the area, and have them research what's,
exactly
extinct, and then have them come and participate.
That's a great idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that, man. And I want to give a party here. I want to have cats beam in, and it'll be pretty funny to see how, those that have talent, those who think they have talent, and those that just introduce us to something, you know what I mean? And it looks to be pretty promising, man. I put it out there for a lot of guys, and they're interested. They say they're gonna bite, and I can't wait to see who Sonny Wells gonna be the voice of with that golden throat, man.
Voice,
man. You guys,
no question.
Man, we used to the American Eagle. Who are you talking for?
I'm gonna pick one of them.
All right, I can't wait.
It's gonna be great too.
Great,
gentlemen. Thank you once again for coming in. We have a full crew for the first time in a long time. Pierre's here, Smitty's here. Smitty, you didn't say too much today, man.
Well,
that's okay.
We had a good show though.
Yeah,
I was a ball hog today. I'm sorry, I was a ball hog today.
He was Kobe Bryant today.
Oh man.
Okay, once again, big ups to Crystal Davis Wells, Johnny Morris, Roscoe Media Center, and Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. This is Just Sports with Sonny Wells. We'll see you next week.
All right.